Alright, YouTube. Your boy's back on the channel. My man went undefeated at the PPG.
It was a PPG case tournament at MomoCon.
Oh, that's what it is. And yeah, my man not only went undefeated. I think y'all split top 4?
So basically, I went 7-0 in Swiss. In top 8, I won my first round, and then the remainder of the people in top 4, I had basically played all of them. So they agreed to split. I agreed to split if as long as I got the first place pricing.
Okay, that's what they didn't want to smoke.
First place, they did not want the smoke.
All right, so let's see what you played. And you played something that's not Despia and...
No, this is not Despia, and this is kind of just, a tribute to last format and just playing cards that you like for fun and enjoying it. So I really enjoyed this deck. This was really cool spin on the deck to bring it into the new format. But last format, I was playing Cyber's Eldlich basically the entire time, so this is kind of a little upgrade to that. So starting off, we'll just go through the hand traps. We got 3 Ash, 3 Imperm, 3 DD Crow, 3 Effect Veiler, 2 Ghost Bells, and 1 Nibiru. A lot of the hand trap choices in this deck, like the 1 Nibiru, it's basically just because like the numbers on this list, I haven't completely hammered them out the way that I want to yet. So I want to play 3 Nibirus within my entire list, and it came down to the side deck where I could play 2, so I played 1 in the main.
Okay. In the format that really not being hand traps are not being played right now, like why did you play so many?
So with it being a 60 card deck, you want to at least have some kind of interruption. Optimally 2 hand traps, but in the situation, you just need to be able to know how to play your singular hand traps against the decks. And with things like Despia running around, the cards like Bell and Crow are pretty good. Ash is obviously great against Branded Fusion. Going forward, I would definitely be playing more Nibiru just because it's just really, really good against Sword Soul and things like that in Despia. And then these are just really good against Sword Soul for the most part.
Okay. So 15 hand traps, right?
Yeah, let's see. 15. Right. So yeah, that is 15 hand traps.
All right.
For the next engine, we've got Brave. We definitely are not letting this stuff go yet. But 3 Water, 3 Right, 1 Fateful, 1 Dracoback, 1 Griffin. I've considered playing the Illegal Knight at this point. He hasn't made it to my deck in testing yet, but for the most part, this is just really still solid going first or second. A lot of cool plays that you can do, especially with the Synchro cards that we will get to.
Okay.
But this is also a Brave card. I don't know why I put it over here, but this is just really good. With anything in the deck, you can send Eldlich, which we will get to, or any of the Synchro stuff that you can use, or the Water Enchantress. But for the Eldlich engine, we've got Eldlich, Eldland, Sanguine, 2 Conquistador, and 2 Marquero, and this is probably not the most optimal way to do it. I'm almost thinking it's time for Conquistador to come back to 3. This was kind of on the tail end of the last format where DPE was running around everywhere, but it's not as necessary anymore, and I think Conquistador with the whole Mystic Mind strategies that's starting to get a little bit more important.
Yes, sir.
So that is for the Eldlich engine. Now we've got the Sanguine Synchro part. We got 3 Sanguine, 3 Plague Spreader Zombie. These are basically just going to be the starters where the previous Cyber's Eldlich deck, you had Dotscaper and Cyber's Gadget. This is basically Dotscaper and Cyber's Gadget.
So would this be like the 3-axis deck or not really?
So it's 3-axis in the idea that you're just trying to get to a play like Needle Fiber really quickly. So the whole Sanguine Arborea interaction just gets you, this is just a 1-card Needle Fiber. This is a 1-card Needle Fiber. You're basically just trying to do your strong 1-card plays and leave the Eldlich in the back row and your hand traps to deal with the rest of the work. So the Sanguines, the Plague Spreader, we've got the Arborea, and then the Jet Synchron. This is part of the whole like Needle Fiber combo, and you're basically just trying to turbo out Scythe the same way that you did the last format. Shout out to opening Scythe in a bunch of games that I got hand trapped on the Needle Fiber because they just lost for no reason at that point. The next engine, which is my favorite, we got the Teleport, 3 Zeomin, 1 Foxy Tune, 1 Deer Note. This is the strongest play in the game, in my opinion, right now. 1 E-Telly and any random card is the Chaos Ruler and a Needle Fiber, and the Dagda after that all for no reason. It's just free, basically. So anytime you can get Eldlich to resolve, you're most likely going to be winning that game.
Okay.
So these cards are insane. Still 2 Illusion of Chaos, 2 Magician Souls. There's not really anything I can think of that's better than this right now. It's a huge extender that you can grab off of the Chaos Ruler. But sometimes it has to be your play starter. Other times you're making dark with it. Like it's a spellcaster. It has... it's good with like Selene and things like that. It's just a really good card. And then the best card in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! Of all time, Fairy Tale Snow. This card is insane. They should not have brought it back, but in the build, you're basically making Shooting Riser Dragon like any time that you can to make Needle Fiber after that. So Fairy Tale Snow is basically always present if you've gone first. That's also not horrible going second, but the last card in the deck is a 1-for-1. Thinking about it now, this is really just garbage. I just don't really want to play this anymore because the deck's card hungry as it is. You don't want to be pitching more cards. So I'm basically either going to be fitting the 3 Nibiru's into the main or fitting some droplets in here somehow. So that's going to be the 60 cards in the main deck.
60 cards, man.
Now, we'll go to the extra deck next. For the extra deck, let's start with our Synchros. You got the Wonder Magician for the Scythe combo. Chaos Ruler, which is an incredible piece of Yu-Gi-Oh card right there. This is a Shooting Riser Dragon. I had to borrow one. Shout out Clay Ashley for helping me for the event. Shooting Riser Dragon's insane for the sake of using your P.U.N.K card with a Brave card to make a Riser, to send a Snow, to make a Needle Fiber, to bring out Jet Synchron, to use with Griffin, to make a Chaos Ruler, to make a Dagda, to end and have hand traps in your hand. It's just crazy. We're playing the 1 Baron de Fleur because you can make this with Plague and Chaos Ruler. There's a whole lot of ways to make this in the deck, but the main play is Needle Fiber, obviously, banish itself, trigger Dagda. We'll go ahead and pull Dagda out. Trigger Dagda, set Scythe, bring this out, pop Scythe, Scythe comes out, Scythe effect, this effect, make this. Now you have a negate and your opponent's out of the extra deck. So it's really, really, really strong. Psychic and Punisher, this card is a... if you don't know what this card does, pull it up and read it and put a card in your deck to deal with it right now because this card's insane. This card is an absolute monster. There are so many games that I won just by summoning this card. All you have to do is summon this card. You win a whole bunch of games against a whole bunch of decks that you shouldn't because they just have no out to it and you just kill them very, very quickly after that. You can make this card with Chaos Ruler and a P.U.N.K. You can make it with Eldlich and a Jet Synchron. There are just too many ways that you could do this. There are ways that you could Riser into this, and it's just not fun for your opponent. This thing can get up to like 12,000 attack really quickly, especially against Despia. It's really good. For the links, we got the Link Karibo for the Jet Synchron, the Almirage for the Plague Spreader and the Sandgin, a Dark, a Lina, a Needle Fiber because obviously this is just the best combo in the game still. IP, this is not necessary. I never went into it. Unicorn, Selene, and Access Code. Like you're making this every game. It's too quick to get to this and with any of these cards. Jet Synchron or like anything like a Sandgin is a 1-card access code. So you just that and Eldlich or that and Chaos Ruler is just game all the time. So you just have a quick way to kill your opponent. That is it for the extra deck.
Let's see the spicy side decks.
It ain't much of a spice, I'm going to guarantee you that. We got the dimensional barriers because we don't like Sword Soul, we don't like Despia. Despia just blows you out just because their hands are crazy. Anti-spell because it's an FTK against Despia. And basically anything right now, the spell cards are just insane. 3 evenly matched for going second. It's just a really strong going second card. Simplify the games for you. I never get to play it, but if I did, it would be really cool. The 2 Nibiru's, these are probably coming to the main. This card put in work this weekend. Token Collector, sending off Riser, blows out the Sword Soul mirror match, or the Sword Soul match. That match isn't even real. And then 2 Cosmics and a Feather Duster. The reason this isn't 3 Cosmics is just because like Feather Duster is I guess like pretty high impact against certain things. Like this was much cooler against like Prank Kids, but since they're gone, like this is just a good card to have against things like trap decks and whatnot. But that is it for the side deck.
All right. So would you make any changes to the deck?
Yeah, so the changes are probably going to be either moving the other Nibiru's to the main, either making room for Droll here because I'm scared of Drytron, and probably try to fit Droplets in here somewhere, or Dark Ruler at that point, just because some boards are not able to be broken by this deck's means anymore. So.
And what was your hardest matchup in the weekend, if there was one?
The hardest matchup for sure was Drytron. I played Drytron like round 3. Shout out that guy. He murdered me round 1 summoning Vanity's Ruler, and then I hand trapped him game 3 to be able to actually stay in the game. So Drytron is a very terrifying deck for this because if you don't open multiple hand traps, Drytron is very good at playing through one hand trap. So that's one of the things you got to be aware of. And once they have made their plays, there is not a card in this deck that can get you out of that combo. So, yeah, everything needs to special summon, or a Herald is going to ruin your day. So, yeah, Drytron, be on the lookout.
Okay, so is there any shout-outs you want to give out before we close out the video?
So I definitely want to give the biggest shout-out to Mr. Astro XC over here for letting me borrow this beautiful Baron de Fleur. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have had one for the weekend. So big shout out for that. Again, shout out to Clay Ashley for letting me borrow the Riser Dragon. Shout out to Stephen Eldlich. He was hanging out with me and Joe Baker during the tournament to kind of keep me company. Shout out to my wife for bringing me food like round 6 and making all of my opponents jealous because nobody was bringing them food.
Hungry.
And then always shout out the sponsor, Play to Win Games. Shout out Dank Ritual. Shout out my boy Saul with Dabbers. Appreciate you for that. And I really think that's about it.
All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all watching. And y'all gonna see this man on this channel many times because, you know, he's probably the best player in Tennessee.
I'm 95% of your content.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Y'all see it. And then for that, appreciate y'all. Until the next time.